Hello, I'm Wanderer001 and this is my review of the TP-Link TL-SG105 5-port gigabit desktop switch. I know that's a mouthful, but you're looking at this because, well, one, you've probably heard wired connections are better than wireless connections. But if you've been taking that to heart, chances are, depending on the type of Wi-Fi router you have, the back of it may look like this. You run out of ports very quickly when you try and wire as many things as you can. Now, another problem you may have is if you have a mesh network system similar to the Google Wi-Fi mesh system, which only has one Ethernet port under the device to be plugged directly in to your modem. So if you have a situation like I depicted, or you have a mesh network that only has one port for you, something like this is ideal. This is a network switch. This particular brand and setup is ridiculously simple, which is why I got it. While I might be somewhat of a techie, I am not one who wants to manage and program a network switch. So this particular model from TP-Link is a completely plug and play option, meaning you plug it in and it does all the magic for you. Before we get into that, let's talk about the size of this. This device is 3.9 inches by 3.9 inches by 1 inch. So it is ridiculously small. In fact, here it is with a pack of cards on top of it. And if we do thusly, you can see it's not large at all, which is one of the benefits of this. Now, it is a completely metal casing. There are no fans on this, so it does not cool itself by fans. You can see the cutouts here and here on either side, and that's to help dissipate any heat buildup that you might get in this, along with the metal design that helps to dissipate heat as well. At the back of the device, you have your power connection and your Kensington lock area. I will say, when I say that this is a very easy to use device, in the box, all you get is the power cable, which is just shy of 5 feet long. You get an instruction manual, which this is the instruction manual. It's ridiculously simple. You also get, on the bottom here, 5 3M little rubber footies to give it a little bit of lift so that the metal is not sitting directly on whatever surface. Now, a lot of people say this is for grip, and you do get a bit of grip using them. However, I like it because it adds a little space, so if this metal body is acting as a heat sink, you're not warming up whatever you have this on. You can see here and underside over there, which I'm covering up a serial number, but these are if you wanted to mount this to either a wall or the back of an entertainment center. Coming back to the front, because this is where all the magic happens. This is the important part. Over here, all you have is a LED power indicator, and then you have your 5 network ports. These are all 10, 100, or 1000 megabit connections. Now, the last one over here, the number 5, you can see it's link account. This one is recommended for if you're going to be plugging direct, well, this is the port that they recommend that you plug in router, or if you had a network attached storage device, this is the port that they would recommend. Now, you can plug into any one of these from your Wi-Fi router. There's nothing that says you have to plug into 1, 2, 3, or 4, or even this linked account down here. I, in fact, tested it. I just plugged right into 3 and then had extensions off of that. Now, I draw a little criticism with them calling this a 5-port device, only because one of the ports you will have to set aside to connect to your Wi-Fi router. So this is actually a 4-port system with a connection to your Wi-Fi router, because those ports that you saw in my depiction earlier, one of the ports on the back of your Wi-Fi router will need to be plugged into this in order for this to be a network extension. Just giving you some information if this is the first type of device like this you're looking into. You can see up here there are little light indicators. These will be green when information passes between the switch and the device plugged into it. Now, I had 2 primary concerns when I was looking at this device, because I've had this on my wish list for a long time. Not in that I wanted to use up all my ports, but I knew one day I would. And one of those questions I had was power usage. How much power is this going to use Well, I could say, while idling, meaning nothing is plugged into it, because that's one thing. The more of it that you use, the more power it will draw. But just idling plugged into my Wi-Fi router, just sitting there, nothing else plugged in, it used between 0.5 and 0.6 watts of power. And again, like I said, if you plug things into this, it will use more power. However, it has what TP-Link is calling energy efficient technology, which they say will save you up to 65%. So it automatically adjusts power consumption according to the link status and the cable length. So what that means is if when you have something plugged into this, but it's not actually drawing information, this will dynamically lower the power usage. Likewise with the length of cable, again, without getting too technical into networking, longer cable, more power needed. This does all of that for you. This is a truly plug-and-play device, which is one of the reasons I wanted to get it, because again, I don't want to manage a network. Now, my other concern with something like this, having never brought in a switch to my house, was do I lose any speeds? Well, here's what I did. I did several tests. The first test was directly from my modem to my computer, and I ran a speed test. I'll be throwing them up on the screen. So when plugged in directly from my modem, I got 219 down with 37 up. When I plugged directly into my Wi-Fi router, so the back of my Wi-Fi router, still all plugged in, I got 170 down with 37 up. When I plugged into the network switch, not using the one for the NAS, I got 166 down with 36.96 up. Now I say the 0.96 because I want you to see that it's just shaving off a little bit using the switch. Now, I also plugged into the switch here, my computer and my Roku to test, well, if I stream an HD video, will that impact this at all? And it did a little bit. Doing that, I got 160 down with 36.99 up. Now, realistically, those are awesome speeds. Those are definitely better than you're going to get with Wi-Fi. So there's nothing really to worry about using something like this. And TP-Link is a company that has been around for a long time. In fact, over there, I have lots of TP switches and smart devices that I've been testing for a long time. The big question now becomes, how much does something like this cost? Well, there are several models of this, meaning you get more of these ports the more you spend. However, for this particular one, you can get it as low as $20. For $20, there's no reason not to get a couple of these to help wire yourself instead of having wireless devices. And there's a lot of smarts that this device does, which I'm not trying to inundate you with in this video. It has traffic optimization for voice and video. It's got automatic power saving. It's got a bunch of brains. I'll link some of it down in the description area below. If you have no experience networking, but you know enough how to plug in an Ethernet cable from your Wi-Fi router to a switch, you can extend your wired network for $20 with something like this. Like I said, this has been on my wish list for a long time because I knew I would need one eventually. Now I have it. I'm happy that I got it. And I'm very certain that you would be happy too if you need to extend your network. So I have been Wanderer 001. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the area below. And as always, thanks for watching.